What's up, guys? How's everybody doing today? It's your boy, GRC. This is Crypto in the Morning. We got a lot of stuff to do. I've been staring at my computer for hours on end, and I feel a little bit cracked out. But the fitness challenge yesterday, guys, the amount of signups that we got, wow. I had not a damn clue that any of that was going to occur. The chat is going bonkers. Cryptographics. I was on his show last night. Great times, great dude. Follow Cryptographics right now or you're a pleb. Switch Kill 65, good morning. I don't think I've ever seen you in here. Hexboy, good morning. MJ Money, Hexander, Cryptographics, just here to find how many grams of TRT I should be taking daily. Should be taking as many grams. You little shit. Hey, FashionCoder. Hey, y'all. Manic monologue intro. Yeah, guys, I had a wild day yesterday. Hey, this is Crypto in the Morning. What we want to focus on primarily moving forward is just like, crypto, right? Like everything else is a distraction. There's a lot to learn here. People are getting scammed left and right. We have the fitness challenge. Sam's in makeup. We got FashionCoder in the background. She's a new streamer. I shouldn't even say she's a new streamer because I've literally been streaming for 40 days. So I guess we're new streamers, and we're going to bring her on. I watched her content. I like it. It's actually good. It provides real value. So any girl that's providing value on YouTube is a friend of mine, especially when it comes to crypto, guys. I'm going to put in the music video, throw up a bicep for us in the chat. Look at my freaking underarms. I look like a gorilla out of the freaking wild. Guys, it's your boy. We'll be back in a sec.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Heart. Richard Heart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. .1 every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at wives they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and they'll get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Heart. Richard Heart. Richard Heart. Richard Heart.
Good morning. How is everybody?
What else? 29 comments I haven't read already since I used the bathroom. That's quite
Look at Belly is in the house. Chad is in the house. Monica's there. Sandy Beach. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. HJ, how are you guys doing? It's already an amazing morning, and it's only 11:07. Wow, that's amazing. How are you doing, brother?
I've been up for 7 hours on and off. Just at some point, dude, I mowed my lawn yesterday for the first time. I'll never do it again. Never will I mow my lawn again, ever. What the biggest waste of time in human history ever created, ever. Like, I could spend 2 hours. I have a big lawn. I could spend 2 hours mowing my lawn or spend $40 to get it done for me while I work. I mean, come on. That's the
Or you could be a complete degenerate like myself and just don't do your lawn at all.
Yeah, but you're Florida. You're Florida. Your shit don't grow like down here. The soil is ripe, baby. For like, if your stuff will go above your head. If you
I try to get rid of my lawn so I don't have to mow it because that way it's one less thing I have to do. But I completely agree.
Enough funny business, Sam. Enough funny business. We got to talk real quick before we get FashionCoder on. We have an updated. We've been working tirelessly on the fitness challenge, or at least Bullish has, and I've been trying to
107. 107, right? We have 107 people signed up already. If you guys have not signed up, if you don't know about the cryptofitnesschallenge.com, you can go sign up. There's over 13K in hex given away to the winner. There's going to be 4 winners, only 3 prizes, only 3 people are getting prizes, but there's going to be 4 winners. If you want to improve your life, if you want to start today to improve the habits of your life, to improve your life
forever
in general,
forever,
go sign up. It's free. We're not getting any of the prizes. We're not doing. It's just fun.
The prizes are more liquid hex than I have.
And more hex than I have in general, period.
Yeah, like we don't like we're just trying to do cool shit, guys. Like this is more of a movement to me than it is like, oh, how much money you have, how much money you have. Like if you have T-shares and you understand the T-share system and you're DCAing in, like you're gonna be fine. That's just the way it goes. But at the end of the day, we just want to provide value because we think this community is so awesome and we think this shit's going to the moon. So we want to be here for the ride, right? Like I want to be in the position to stream in front of everyone if this shit goes to the top level.
And speaking of providing value, I am super curious to talk to the FashionCoder. This is going to be awesome. I love bringing on new guests that I can learn from, especially because we don't have a lot of women or girls in crypto space. And
I hope she's watched you before. I hope she's watched you before, so she's prepared. Because if you haven't had your coffee yet, Coder, he loves to ask questions. He's a serial truth seeker. But I'm gonna play this ad real quick, guys. Biceps in the chat real quick. I'm not moving until there's biceps in the chat before the ad.
I have to rock back and forth because I can't get both of them in the screen at the same time. So we need some in the chat because you can put more than one in the chat. Update, guys. You got that video to play? Let's see this. We got to
wait for one more bicep. Who's the next one? There it is. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm glad I got out. Let's introduce real quick our special guest.
Hey everyone.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Welcome to the show, FashionCoder, everybody. Beautiful smile. How you doing today?
I'm doing really good. It's 9:11 a.m. and so it's been a good day for me so far, even though it's still decently early.
Where are you? Or well, you don't have to say where you're located. What country?
She's 2 hours back.
Yep, I'm 2 hours
back Eastern Standard.
Dope. Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear that sound? There's a dude drilling for the internet. There's the guy drilling here. If I'm not talking, I'll mute myself.
Yes, because I thought I was about to have a little panic attack. I was like, is that I thought that was my shit. Anyway, FashionCoder, amazing to meet you it's a little bit of a weird time in crypto, right? Like it's such a lull period that we're all kind of like trying to figure out what kind of content we want to make. And I feel like you went right over to like the testnet side of things, a little more technical for, like a little more technical, a little bit like here, this is what we do. Maybe like more evergreen content that people can go back to as well. Tell me a little bit about how you got into crypto in general, and then like how you got into streaming, because those are two like really different steps, right?
And everybody's loving. Sorry to interrupt. Everybody's loving you in the chat. By the way, I just want to say that. Thanks for coming on. Go ahead and answer.
Oh my God! Real quick before you answer, $33 super chat. Valiant Brand, you guys effing rock. Thank you for the fitness challenge. My 3 older brothers are joining me. Everyone too with the challenge, dude. Your 3 brothers are joining. I'm sure they're Hexicans. If they're any, have speak to you on any weekly basis, they probably. But thank you so much, Brand. As always, your support in this community is incredible. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Awesome. Hi to everyone in the chat. I see a lot of my friends in the chat right now of just people that I've met through being a streamer. Hi, Monica. So how I got involved in crypto. I've been in crypto for over 3 years, and it's been a wild ride. Like when I got in, everything was really low, to be honest, and it's just gone up, gone down, gone up, and gone down again. But my dad got me into crypto, actually. So I'm a second gen.
Biceps in the chat for her dad. Biceps.
Yes.
Literally, out of 100% of the parents in the United States, 1% of them maybe would even mention to their kids about a financial opportunity. And then your father happened to mention the greatest financial opportunity to his daughter that ever existed in history. That's props to your dad on that one.
Yeah, huge props to my dad. And so that's how I got into crypto. Have been doing, things within crypto for the last 3 years. But then about, 2-ish months ago, I was like, oh, well, I'm already helping so many of my friends. Like my crowd that I'm helping has like gotten bigger and bigger. And so I just was like, oh, I'll just make videos. And then the videos, I'll send them to my friends. And that's all that will happen. And then I feel like I just got adopted into the most amazing community, and that's how I've been a part of this.
What do you think so far? Because I've been making content for like 10 years, and there's like moments in time where I might touch on like a nerve or something's like in mainstream that I'm talking about. So you get this like energy that's associated with the community. If I'm talking about something like 6-7 years ago, I was talking about drones, and I bought my first drone, and there wasn't enough people talking about it. So there was a surge of energy around it and a community and people asking questions and stuff like that. And then the same thing happened with some other like fitness related stuff, but on the fringe of the fitness community. And then I get into crypto, and it's like the acceptance and like the support and like is just ungodly. Like, have you ever experienced anything like you did in crypto?
No. No, it's like been overwhelming. It's been so good, but it's been very overwhelming. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize like this is how it was going to be. I remember like my first couple of videos, I was talking to my dad and I was like, are people usually this nice? Like in this space, I was like, I feel like I'm getting like a lot of people being very, very kind and very supportive, and like lots of people are reaching out to me, and he was like, honestly, I feel like it's usually kind of brutal, but like you're getting great support. And so, yeah, even at the beginning, I was like, oh my goodness, this is just awesome. And so it's been great to be integrated into such an amazing community.
I haven't seen your channel yet or watched any of your content. So how are you approaching the content?
Well, why don't we go ahead and pull her channel up, and what she can kind of talk. I'm not going to play your video, but we can kind of just look at it and people can. Sure. I'll put the link below so they can hit it out. Oh,
you were getting a lot of support in the chat there. That is awesome, FashionCoder. Hell yeah, lots of people. That's fantastic. Are you pulling up? What is the name of your channel?
FashionCoder.
FashionCoder.
Good name too, by the way. Easy to spell.
How did you come up with that name?
It was also my dad, actually.
Your dad's the goat, dude.
Yeah, my dad's freaking awesome. But I used to be a software developer, and I also love clothes. So
let me pull this up and
great. It's a good name. That's a very good name for YouTube. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because if things happen, you can be comfortable with it too.
You guys can go subscribe. Actually, let me put this in the chat. So if you guys want to go subscribe and check it out, get another point of view. I think when you're in crypto or anything and you're trying to understand something more fully, I look at gathering research or data as painting a mosaic where you get little bits and pieces of information from a bunch of different places, because then I have one point of view. GSC has a slightly different point of view. FashionCoder is probably a completely different or slightly different, right? And several things that they say are super intelligent or thoughtful or just a different point of view. And by gathering information from different sources, you're able to paint a broader picture or a more accurate picture of reality. So that's you. Go check out her channel. So
Yes.
Can you talk? I'm curious to learn about the testnet. I don't know much about. I haven't played around with it. I actually fucked up my computer.
So Sam, why don't you introduce yourself as far as your experience within the community a little bit too?
Yeah, I'd love to know.
So
You probably have to watch that she's still in streaming because it's hard to watch so many people at once.
GRC and I connected several years ago. He had actually reached out because I was in fitness, and he was asking questions about fitness, and we were working together in terms of coaching and whatnot. And then we touch base every couple months. And then 2 months ago, I saw him posting about crypto, and I knew that was the thing that I was going to be changing into next. I just didn't know how to enter. I didn't know anything about crypto whatsoever. He's talking about hex. So I sent him a DM on Instagram, and I should probably screenshot this and share this at some point, but I sent him a DM, and I'm like, oh, you have hex. And I literally thought hex was HNT, Helium Protocol. And so he's like, yeah, you have hex. And I was like, no, but I love what they're doing with the vision of getting rid of ISPs and all this other stuff. And he's like, dude, you're talking about something fucking completely different. But that was about 2 months ago. So I've been in the community for about 2 months, and I'm just trying to learn and meet new people.
But he also has created upwards to 150 videos already, short form videos on crypto, PulseX, PulseChain, Google Analytics, stuff like that. He makes videos on everything he researches, pretty much.
Cool.
So it's like a way to hold yourself accountable.
Basically, he's a professional researcher.
Yeah, that's so useful. Holy cow.
Yeah.
It
absolutely useful.
Forces me to educate myself. So if I'm curious about a topic, it's like, okay, cool. Well, then that means it's a video that I can do. And in order to create a video, I have to have a better understanding than just this is what it is. And so I have to dive in a little bit deeper and try to understand it from multiple different angles, which is super useful to me because then I understand it, but then I'm able to share that with other people. But one area that I haven't dove into yet is the testnet. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. Have you played around with it? Are you actually going through and doing some swaps and all that kind of stuff? I also had questions.
Yeah, she does videos on the testnet tutorial.
Yep.
So she actually does content on that. And she's a programmer, Sam. If you didn't hear me in the beginning, well, I don't know if you actually heard that. You were a programmer at some point, but now you took up, some different, I can't remember exactly what you said, but at some point you were a software developer, and then you went back to school and then switched it up a little bit. So her background is more so in software and stuff like that.
So you probably have a different take on the testnet. Can you share that with us? Because I literally have.
Any kind of. We want to know a little bit about what you know. We're kind of gym ratty around here. We want to know what's up.
Can you tell? I don't know. Right?
I've never guessed.
Right?
Yeah. So, testnet's really cool. A bit of my background. So I was telling Jim Rat this earlier. So I used to be a software developer, but now I work more on the product side of tech. And so I still work for a tech company. I just do more business with it now. And so I've had jobs where I was a software developer, and I've also done jobs where I did quality assurance. So I was going through and I was testing the product. So it's been really cool going through testnet because I do have that background where it's I'm used to going through and trying to find bugs in the code and in different websites. And so it's been fun going through all of testnet because it's a playground, and there's so many different things that you can do within testnet that it's great to practice right now because, all of your coins are test coins. So if you mess up, it's completely fine because it's fake.
Monopoly.
Yeah, exactly. And so, it's been really cool. PulseX and the functionalities within PulseX are really interesting. they were kind of hard for me to wrap my mind around, like farming, for example. I have a video on that, and it took me several tries to actually figure out like what was going on.
So explain, please. Like, I know about LP, but I don't know anything about farming.
So Sam knows technically everything about liquidity providing. Like technically, like he understands how it works, but he's never used the test. So like, how do you like?
Please.
Yeah, so you create a liquidity pair. That's your first step. And then once you create the liquidity pair, you go into the farming function and you're able to, it reminds me kind of like a staking function. It's not the same thing, but it's the same like process to do it. So you just like allow for them to use your liquidity pair and then you go from there.
So is when you say farming, is the farming the same thing as LP?
I don't think so. That's a great question though, because I don't 100% understand the farming functionality. I know how to do it, but I don't understand the concepts of it fully. So if we go to, go to farms. Let's look at it.
Oh wait, this is your video. Actually, let's
one second. Can you guys hear this video?
I can't.
No, we cannot.
Yeah, no. So hold on, Bullish. I can't hear the video.
No, we cannot hear it either, dude. That's perfect because we're gonna just be talking over.
Oh, my bad. You guys are right. You're better host than me. Excuse me.
So how do you get to? Let me figure out where to go to get to the test now. And then I'll pull it up, and you can kind of like, hey Sam, click on that thing, click on this thing. Test now. I don't have a wallet loaded though, so it'll probably be limited.
I can look it up too.
Here. Okay, let me share this screen real quick. We can walk you through this because I think LP in terms of I just chatting with somebody yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, a doc. They're in the medical field, right? So I don't know what they want to share, right? In the medical field, they saw some of the content I was putting out around providing liquidity because people are like scared of impermanent loss. But when you look at what impermanent loss is, it's an opportunity cost, right? So there's opportunity cost of everything. Like you taking the time to come on the show today is an opportunity cost for you to sit in bed and fucking play with your thumbs, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like you could go to the gym, you could go for a walk. Like everything's an opportunity cost depending on how you look at it. It's just in certain cases, we decide to come up with fancy vernacular and call it something and then scare off half the people that could do it so that everybody who understands that can actually do it. And there's monumental like amounts of money you can make. So I had this guy, he put in 120 grand. He's like sharing the screen and stuff with me. Put in 120 grand. He's making 450 bucks a day, which is like, okay, 450 bucks a day is not that much money, but on an annualized basis, that's like 120%.
120 grand a year.
It's 160. So he put in 120. He's going to more than double that to 280 and 285 almost by the time the year is over in 365 days. And the cool thing about crypto is that you can trade all year round. Not that we trade, but like other people do, right? So you can make money all day.
You want to be obviously like you want to understand everything before you go in, right? Like between which transactions are taxable events and which ones are not, right? And when it comes to liquidity providing, as far as the pairs that you use, if you're using pairs that are strong, impermanent loss isn't really an issue if you believe that the coins will be around long term because you don't have to sell.
Like PLS and PLSX, right? Like
you don't like if you guys really truly believe that Pulse and PulseX will be around in the decade, which I do personally, then providing liquidity for something like that, impermanent loss isn't going to be as such an issue as if you're doing Pulse Doge to PRT, like you know what I mean, or whatever, like any other pair where it's just a little more risky. We don't know the future. You're not sure if it's going to be there in a year or two. That's when impermanent loss gets a little bit more like it could go to zero.
So there is, I don't know where the comment is, but list Sout 193. Farming is just being incentivized to keep your liquidity on that particular exchange. So when I have the testnet up here, right? I thought there was also single-sided. What is your understanding or definition of like what farming is versus LP? Is there a difference or is it just different vernacular, but it's the same thing?
So I think this may be wrong.
That's okay.
It's okay.
I think it's the same thing. So you create the liquidity pair and then you allow for it to be farmed and then you get an incentive token from it being farmed.
Right. So when you're doing the single-sided staking, you are gaining the PRT token so that's what I get confused about, right? I'm like, because I've never provided liquidity for Jackass in my entire life. So I don't know. Yeah. So all of this is we're just talking. This channel, just so everyone knows, like just people that are new, like I've been in crypto for about 1.5 years, but I've started studying it, I guess, professionally for like 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, maybe. So for me, it's like, this is a learning channel, right? Like I'm learning as I go. I happen to be a good student and I enjoy learning. So I thought instead of me and Sam talking on the phone all day, going back and forth, now we have a comment section that helps us while we look up stuff. And it's much better and more.
To talk to awesome people.
We talk to awesome people and we get to connect. And like, really, we're all just learning together. We're not an authority on anything. We're just making sure that people don't get wrecked. Like those guys that click on that link.
FashionCoder, don't feel bad about like if you say something that could be incorrect, because we're not telling people to do anything that we're talking about, and I'm fucking wrong all the time. People
and there's pros in the chat, and they clear it up quick. So
somebody in the 68 people.
So this is mine. Let me say what I know, so I can embarrass myself first. Okay. So like, when you do a single-sided staking pool, anyone can start a pool, right? Like that's what I heard. Like anyone can start a pool. It just seems like it's less risk because you're not doing as much and there's not as much action. Like it's way more straightforward when you're doing single-sided staking. You're going to get a rate. You're going to get paid out in whatever coin. I guess do you get paid out in the PRT token in that case too? I don't think so, right? Or do you?
I think you are.
Go ahead. So you get the incentive token plus fees, right?
I think. Let's see.
To yield farm, you pair 2 tokens in a smart contract and receive the LP token that presents your share in the pool. The amount of the 2 tokens you can redeem with your LP token is dynamic. Okay, so you can redeem different tokens due to the structure of the pool, I guess.
So as you earn, do you know if your earnings go back in there directly, Evan or FashionCoder?
Incentive plus fees, that's what he said.
Yeah, I think you can harvest. That's what it's called. You can harvest your fees or the incentive token. And so then, you can use that in that way. Also, I think you can provide liquidity for the incentive token too. Which is crazy.
Let's see if I can.
I'll pull it up if you want.
Okay. So we're on the DApp right here. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to earn or liquidity because we have farms here, pools here, and then we have liquidity over here.
Yes. Go to earn and go to farms. They have made this super nice and user-friendly in the sense that they allow you to provide liquidity just right here. So click one of like the little down arrow buttons on the right. Okay. So see how it says get PLS, LP? Yep. You'll click that, and that's where you're able to provide liquidity.
Okay.
And so you could probably do it directly through liquidity, but I feel like this is a safer way because it is directly right there. It gives you the link.
So when you say safer way, what do you mean?
Allflex pool is a single-sided, and you receive PRT, which is just a placeholder for the staking reward token, right? Yeah, PRT is just the name, the placeholder for whatever the incentive token's name will be.
Cool.
So go ahead.
Oh, when I said a safer way, really what I meant is it gives you a link directly there. And so there's less room for user error. So you just click the liquidity pair directly on the farms page. So then
like here, this is like because you have the background in coding and you like at least conceptually understand what might be a more intelligent or thoughtful or better way of approaching things to make it less friction for the user or a better experience for the user. Like something that I might understand at the gym, you understand from the coding standpoint. So you're saying the way that it is currently set up is like, okay, well, that's a good way to set it up to make it easier for the people to do it instead of having to do something you've probably seen very shitty code where it's not that simple.
Yep. It's all about having a frictionless workflow so the user doesn't have to stumble upon anything. And so them actually adding that link right now or right there of the get the liquidity pair is brilliant, because it kind of covers their butt if someone creates a liquidity pair that like isn't available.
Oh, it's so awesome.
Well, can you explain that that last bit of what you just said? So this right here, by clicking here and then get PLSX LP, and you said something about a pair that's created that's not immutable or something. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So say I like made a liquidity pair of PLSX with just some other coin that isn't one that you can provide liquidity for. Like if that was me in that situation and I have a ton of coins that I'm doing this with, I would probably be really mad of like, I can't even farm this and I created the liquidity pair and like no one's really like using this. That could be like someone could get mad at the people on the website of like, well, why would you even let me do this? And so it
how does that work as far as like so when you say someone getting mad, right? Like, because I know what you mean. People will just start talking about how annoying that is, right? And it'll over and over again. But at what point is somebody actually responsible for like how good a site actually functions? Like if this all worked perfectly, right? But the site was just trash, like would it really matter? Or would it just be like an adoption barrier? Are you just looking for like some ease of access for people? Like, is that kind of what you're looking for? Like as somebody who's coding, like, and you're looking through everything, are you just seeing how smooth everything is so other people can kind of get in? Because I don't know that life at all. Like, I don't.
There's two things. There's the ease of access, which is really important for adoption. But then there's also the fact that, like, legally, I don't even know if it would be a legal thing, but, people are sometimes sue happy. And so they'll just go and sue you for all these things, especially if their money's on the line, if their crypto's on the line. And so that's something too, is you want to make sure that you're making a workflow within just any website in general, right? That does anything with finances to have that smoothness, because you don't want someone coming back and trying to get at you with a lawsuit.
So the simpler it is, the less friction through the process of all directions within the site, you also are able to reduce litigation risk, is what it sounds like.
Yep, exactly. And so it helps. And then also by having a smooth process throughout the workflow, it helps with bugs too. So you understand, and what a bug is just something that's like a stumbling point within the code that either doesn't work or it is creating some other bad thing within the code or whatever it is. And so by having a frictionless workflow, you're able to go through and identify those bugs a lot easier, because you have every single use case. And when I say use case, it's like we have farming, we have pools, we have the trade function, the earn function, you go into those. And so if you see everything in its like own entity, that also really helps.
Interesting. So with your experience in QA, what did you find any cool, you're like, oh, this shit's fucked up, or like what? Because like when I read a lot, and one of the things that I notice in even textbooks or I read like research papers for fun, and I noticed in research papers, I was like, oh, they messed up the spelling thing here, and it's like these 7 PhDs, right? Like I'm noticing grammatical errors. So what did you see? Did you find any cool things where you're like, oh, this is wrong, or even if it's just the verbiage on the page?
Yeah, so it's really interesting what people put in their website like code. So it's HTML. People also, sorry, the garbage truck is here right now, and my roommate's dog's barking.
You're good.
But like people will put passwords. People will put like personal information. It's crazy, and it's like you work for a company and you're like putting these things within like the website text.
So on that, sorry, HTML. Yeah. So like, you're noobs, right? We're like, okay, we see a web page, like we have no idea how to do or look at any of the things you're talking about. But what you're saying is there's a way to actually look at the code of a web page that you look up. And when you look at that code, people are like, let me put my password for this fucking shit in here. Wow.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Like, so I'm on a MacBook right now, and I just do like the 2-finger click, and there's an inspect. If you're on PC, you just right click and you go to inspect, and you're able to see the website code in HTML and CSS, which are 2 different languages. They work together though. So CSS is the styling, HTML is just the code, and different companies can have like a backend code to it, but you can go on any website and inspect the code. And so sometimes like I'll be looking at something, I'll be like, oh, I really like how that button looks, or I really like how this like sidebar looks. So I'll just go in and inspect it, and then I'll see the code that they have behind it. I'm like, oh, well, that's what they use. Like I could use that on like one of my websites or something. And so it's crazy. Like you can go in and look at people's websites.
God.
I tried to share it so people could see the screen here, but it doesn't actually share the inspect thing.
Oh.
And it's just a bunch of gibberish. Like you wouldn't actually know what you're actually looking at unless like it's on the side of that screen there, but I am unable to share that. Oh, yeah. There it is. Perfect.
Yep.
This is
on the right side where it says styles, that's where it like has all of the different like on the far right tab column thing. That shows like what like height the line is and the margin and the color of the text and just all different things. Yeah, and then you can go in and you can like look through every single line. And so a lot of the code is hidden though. Like the backend code is typically hidden. So, you know.
What is backend code? And by the way, I apologize. You probably were not expecting to get interrupted so many times in 25 minutes from TRC myself.
You're good. I'm happy to go through this. I love stuff like this. This is actually why I got into coding.
Yeah, this is amazing.
So cool.
This is incredible information.
Yeah.
I've never heard this before. I mean, I know it might be stupid. I might be stupid for saying that, but like I ain't never messed with this side of anything at all. I do know like the front end and the back end. Like I understand like the front end would just be like what is presented to the user, and then once you click into the website, like it's going to be more so.
HJ says she's a fucking beast.
Yeah, she's
great. This is why we like to have smarter people than us on the show, so we can learn from them.
We'll take pictures of our meals.
Color of the text. But yeah, so backend is like the databases and how the data that's within a certain database for a company flows through different like APIs and how it like gets from the back end, so the database, to the front end. So like right here, see how we have like those prices as well as the price changes and the volumes. So those things could be set within the database, and that has to go to the back end and grab those numbers from the database, but then it has to flow through the entire program and software to be able to be displayed.
So question on it. So the database would be like a piece that would be private that you couldn't look at the code, but the path it goes through to get to the visual that everybody sees is visible. Is that accurate way of thinking about it?
Yeah, I think that's
good.
What part is that you said?
You'll learn how websites are hacked. I don't know what that means, but that might be a good tip if anyone knows what that means.
That's a great idea.
That's my friend actually from he's 100% anonymous, but from way, way back in my life. And I had no idea until he messaged me. He was always in the chat, but until he messaged me, I had no idea.
So when you look at code, that's awesome. What's up to GRC's friend from the past? How you doing? Look at this. So are you like look at code on every page to see if you can find stuff that's messed up, or how do you like? What is the process of like a QA?
Yeah. So it's trying to do every single thing that there is on a website in the most obscure way. So it's like, so, you know, you can go through, if you watch my tutorials, I do not do anything in like weird ways. I try to do it in the simplest way possible, because that's like the best way to learn, right? Is to go from like point A to point B in the easiest way. So that's all my videos. I don't go through and I'm like, okay, let's try and break this. But on my own time, I've been trying to go through and be like, okay, well, what if someone like did this and then they like left something open and didn't finish like a transaction or something, and then they try and do a transaction over here, like will it will let me do that. So it's trying to think of like, how would someone in the sense of like someone who's trying to access a vulnerable point in the website, how would they do that? And so since I'm new to the website, you know, like I'm not one of their testers, I'm not a part of their team or anything. I'm like, I'm going to try and do this myself. And so it's been fun. I really haven't found anything. They have really been good at what they've put out, and they've even had iterations. I've been able to tell throughout like testnet. I've seen them like change one or two things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know, like I saw that beforehand.
So
that testnet, the sacrifice checker switched today. I saw that.
Ooh.
Everyone was tweeting that out.
So
another update actually launched where they updated the sacrifice checker, because I looked at it this morning and it was updated.
So V2 versus V2.5, right? 2.5, each, even though it's 2.5 version for the testnet, it's sitting at 2.5. That's referencing something else, but you're seeing the front end actually changing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And so like, you know, sometimes things will change in the back end and you don't really see it in the front end. But every once in a while, something will change in the front end. I'm like, oh, I got that.
We can get good at this stuff too, Sam.
You should do videos on that stuff. I mean, well, I
know
one or two videos
on that stuff too. Like some of that,
because nobody else is doing it.
There are things that you might know that other people might not know. It's like there's a lot of smart people. Like we're all smart guys, but like when you've been down a rabbit hole for so long, some people will never make it down that area. Like we've never gone down the coding rabbit hole. We've gone down pharmacology, bodybuilding, biology, you know, lots of different stuff. And that's why when we talk about that stuff over in this realm, people are like, oh my God. But like where we're from, like that's just normal vernacular. You know what I mean? So it is, you should definitely share. All of this stuff is very creative, and it could go viral on like a different level too if it catches, like, because it's more open-ended, right? It's not so much, of course you want to do your content that you love, but like those things can blow up separately just because they're more open-ended in the algorithm, because everyone can use that information, right? And everyone can want to look into the code of a website. That sounds interesting to me. Real quick, guys, if you have not shared this out yet, please do. FashionCoder, you're way cooler than I could have imagined, and you're very sweet and you're very nice. And you're very motivated, and you know it's awesome to see someone on here super motivated. You know, like you said.
Chad says, sorry, GRC. He's like, I doubt she was fully prepared for Sam's experience.
I'm trying to dim him down a little bit, but but no, Sam's internet is back on, so his dopamine is high. His
ready to go.
You can tell the second your internet started working again, your like whole entire vibe like was like better. You were just so pumped because that was lingering, dude.
That was not good at all. So cool. You said you haven't really found anything, but does that mean you have found something, or you haven't, or all you're just seeing is those changes that they're making?
I've just been seeing like the changes that they've been making, and so I feel like I haven't gone super deep into it, so I should really like try and hammer on it. But yeah, it's been cool so far. Like I think their website's great and it's decently intuitive, like once you get it. And that's actually why I made videos on testnet, because you know, might as well practice before mainnet comes out. And also like being able to make a video on it meant that I had to understand enough to make a video. So it was like kind of like my own homework for myself of like, okay, I'm going to figure this out for myself. And then once I'm able to make a video on it, then I'll be good.
Yes, 100%. So what, in terms of what you know about your background in the coding and everything, is there like a practical takeaway that somebody who doesn't have any experience could like utilize to say improve their experience or improve their security, right? Is there, and maybe there's not, but like you would be able to answer that question where I would have no effing idea.
Yeah, so I don't know much about security, so I can't answer that one.
GRC I feel like I know a lot about security now. I really.
If you have questions, ask. Like ask him, ask me.
I can probably spit off everything. I've asked everyone every question 10 times.
Good. Okay, good to know. Let's see.
Yeah, security is something I was more proactive about because I actually got hacked, real wrecked, super wrecked.
10K.
Well, it was
Whoops.
10.
I don't know if you want me to say that. But.
Yeah, come on, Sam. Come on.
Now you have.
No, but it was like, it was just a wake up call more so. Like I was like, okay, not everyone's chatting about this, but it's happening to normal guys, right? I was like, I wasn't sitting there like I'm the dumbest dude in the room. I've been in a lot of rooms, and I ain't the dumbest one in any of them. So I know that I understood that this would be happening to other people. So I started thinking about it, and then I started, how many people are talking about this? Who's avoiding talking about this? That was more curiosity to me. I'm like, who's sweeping this thought under the rug when they're telling everyone to stake 5555? It's a little bit hard to tell everyone to get a separate device, get a Trezor, and learn all these things. Not mentioning that can be a lot easier than mentioning it, Sam, as far as like a pitch, right? So I look more so when people are pitching something, I look for what they're avoiding saying, right? And Sam kind of taught me about that too. It's like people use their words very carefully when they're in business, right? So you can use those words against them too, because it's so important in Hex and everything for me to just let everyone know, like, this is the wild fucking West, and you will lose all your shit and no one will give a rat's fuck. I promise you, no one will care. No one will care. No, maybe you have a nice friend or family and stuff, but that's what this channel is mainly about. As Pulse Chain drops every single day, I want to be there so I can kind of be looking and calling out a lot of this security stuff, frankly, because the scamming is getting out of control. I've never seen anything like it in my life. People could say it's always been like this. I don't think so. They're getting very intricate on Instagram, like extremely.
FashionCoder, is there any questions that you're like not sure about, right? That maybe we can point in the right direction or help with? I mean, you know how to use the internet, so it's not super fucking challenging to answer questions, but it's also nice sometimes when you can just bounce back and forth. And then I wanted to ask you about like P-Hex versus E-Hex and just to hear your thoughts on that. But is there any questions that you might have around anything that we might be able to help with, or somebody in the chat might be able to help with?
Yes, I actually do have one question about security, because I've been seeing two things and I'm kind of confused. Okay, so people have been saying that using a mobile device with MetaMask is a terrible idea, but then other people are saying it's the best idea.
I square this.
Let her finish.
Sorry,
I keep interrupting her, so let her finish.
Oh yeah, so that's the question. Like, tell me what is right.
So basically, having a mobile device and having a dedicated mobile device are two different things, right? Like, if I have a cell phone that I call my mommy on, that is not the cell phone I need to have my MetaMask on. Period. I don't care what the Staker app guys say. Stupid. I'll find one of those guys with their Staker app in their pocket and I'll knock their lights out and I'll say, hey, dude, I have your Staker app now. You know what I mean? That's the point, right? The point isn't that it's a bad thing. The point is everyone in the world is going to know you have Hex in 5 years probably, or like crypto is going to be all normal, right? So why, when you could lose your phone, drop it in the gutter, anything could happen, and then someone could just tell you, open the thing up or I'll freaking, and then send it to me. You know and so that's I think you should have a separate burner phone for any kind of phone stuff you do with crypto. It should never be on your phone that you're using ever.
But I think it varies, right? Like, so with everything, there's nuance involved. So having MetaMask on your phone, not necessarily a bad thing, right? But somebody could get into your phone and like, a friend, when you have it on the desk, and like, oh, hey, can make a quick phone call, right? It's possible that somebody could use your phone, right? Well, the other side of that, or the more nuanced side, would be like, well, would you want to keep stakes on there? Would you want to keep like the big portion of your bag on there, or things like that? And like having it on your phone to be like, hey, dude, like showing one of your friends like how things might be, right? Because we're excited about this. We talk to people about it.
Yeah.
So like I have MetaMask on my phone, but I don't have I got like $20 there. But I have a stake that's separate, and what GRC was saying, on a completely separate device. So that's not connect. I don't use it for anything else. Which I don't want my stakes on my phone.
Yeah.
Because then if that gets compromised or somebody gets my phone or something, right? I also don't want to use this computer for doing crypto stuff, right? So I'll use a separate computer completely. But maybe I have MetaMask on here with a tiny bit of money just so I can play around with the test net or like do videos on it or something like that, right? But the bigger portion is just completely separate device that nobody knows about or anything like that. Is that helpful though?
Yes, that is totally helpful. Yeah, because I've been like, I don't know. Okay.
I promise you, if you just sit down in the morning with your a crypto laptop is cheaper than a cell phone, guys. So, whatever anyone says, you need a $200, $300 Asus laptop, brand new, clear it, and that's your crypto computer. Don't use it for anything else. Period. Just do it. If you have over 20 grand in crypto and you're not doing that, you're stupid. You need to do that right now. Like you have to find.
Wait, so what's it called?
Oh, well, that would just be the brand. So like Asus would be the brand of the computer, but there's many.
Just
know that.
Do you have a separate laptop or a separate old phone that you don't use?
Yeah.
You can use
reset that and use that.
The cheapest, oldest, it matters none about the tech. As long as it works and it can have functionality, that's the one you want to use. Like almost the cheaper the better sometimes. There's less attack vectors.
I just did a hard reset like on an old device to clear the whole thing to be able to use that just for crypto.
Cool.
But if you don't clear it, I promise you this, if you don't clear it 10 years down the line when you have 4,000 day stakes coming out, you're going to say, frig, I hope I was not doing anything on that computer before I clear it. That's why you clear it, because you need to know like that there's nothing going on in it. Like
Chromebooks are super dirt cheap too, and Marco the Hexagon, who is also a sponsor for the Crypto Fitness Challenge. If you guys want to check it out, or if you guys want to sign up, there's a link down below. But Marco says cheap Chromebook is okay to use, I believe. Can't save anything on the unit. You can save. You get like 16 gigs or something, or 32 gigs, at least one of the ones that I have on there. What area are you currently super fascinated about or interested in? And in crypto, hex, all that stuff.
Me?
Yes. Sorry.
You're good. That's a great question. Honestly, I feel like I'm just really ready for mainnet to come out. That's like, I've been having dreams about it. I am ready for this to happen. And so, yeah, just waiting for mainnet to come out.
That is hilarious. I haven't told anybody that either, but I'll wake up after being asleep for several hours, and then I'll just be thinking about crypto. And just like whether it's that or like something related to Pulse or something related to Pulse X, and I'll wake up and I'll just be thinking about crypto or a concept or something. I haven't told anybody. This is the first time I'm actually saying it.
Plus the Trezor.
That's great.
Plus the Trezor. I forgot to mention the Trezor. Plus the Trezor. Some people are both ways on that, but I have a Trezor for all my stuff on my separate computer now.
What are your thoughts on p-hex and e-hex and how, right? Because you're basically going to get an exact copy of e-hex, right? So you have not just the tokens that are transferred or like copied over, right? But you have 6.4 year average over here. You have 38% or whatever the case is. And how do you think, because there's a difference in the fees, and currently there's also a different adoption rate between Ethereum and Pulse. Do you think, or have you thought about like how that might actually change? Because over here on Pulse, the fees are substantially cheaper, right? So could incentivize people with much smaller bags to do shorter stakes and thus maybe increasing. So from like 9.6 number of stakers over here to say 9.6 over here, maybe this actually jumps up to 12, right? And it actually affects the interest rate. Have you thought about that at all? Or I'm curious to hear any thoughts you have on that.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about how the pricing will be. So like the whole talk is of when is like price. I know, when is price parity going to happen between the two, right?
That's the shit that makes me not be able to sleep.
Oh, I just have so many like questions, and like it's something that I feel like can't really be predicted that well, because first off, Pulse Network is not even out. Like we're still like waiting, and it's been interesting to see what's been happening within like pools and farming, like the percentages of APR on them, they have been insane. Like you have to go in, like I once put like some of my test tokens in, and I was making like $1,000 an hour or something like that. So
it's gonna be a reality soon, so prepare yourself mentally. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not gonna say that the yield will be so great as it is on the test net. I'm just saying in general, like it's important for everyone. That's another thing we do on this channel is try to kind of let people know, like, it's important. Me and Sam have been really dedicated, self-helpy kind of people our whole lives. So we want to tell people, like, I've been happy for a while and I've been broke as hell. Like, it doesn't make a difference. Like, but I've also had more money and been super depressed. So I also want people to know, like, it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you can't handle it, you're going to mess up big time, big time. So like, obviously your dad probably talks to you about that too, if he knows about all this stuff.
oh yeah, he's literally been texting me during this video of like, this is like
tell Dad we say what's up, and he's awesome.
Okay, I will. He
Dad,
had
he's the
to drop
freaking-
out of the live stream, but
Man,
he was here at one point.
that's awesome. That's really, really, really cool. It's awesome. My family watches as well. I tell them not to comment though.
Because they'll hear something crazy. So talk about price parity. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Okay. So what I've been thinking about, also something is I do not have a financial background. So, my background is in software development. And so it's been interesting entering this space because I don't have a financial background. And so I'm like always just, trying to learn from other people when it comes to that. But when it comes to price parity, I've been thinking about how, if people do end up moving over to PHEX, like what will that do to the price of EHEX? Like, will there ever be price parity, or will PHEX take away from EHEX's price? Because people may possibly be moving their EHEX over onto the Pulse Chain network. So I have no clue.
I think I'm going to have so much fiat ready on the sidelines. I'm not playing any of this stick all my money into one sector and wait kind of shit. Like, I know the opportunities that are going to come are going to be presented at different times, right? Like, these opportunities, they come and they go and they switch and they change. And if you can just put $200, $400, $600, when you have it in, you'll never have to worry about your finances again. Ever.
Our Excellence mentions, so what you were saying about parity. Parity would happen if the OA bridges in a bucket load of EHEX and puts in a pool with HEX and sets the ratio 1 to 1.
So is that possible? Are you saying that could possibly?
So think, have you thought about this in terms of, if you have two, I think of HEX as having, there's 4 HEX. Yes, I understand there's 2, but there's kind of 4, right? You have the wrapped version of PHEX on Ethereum, right, plus EHEX. Then on the Pulse side, you have the wrapped EHEX plus you have PHEX, right? So you have kind of these like 2 versions of 2 different networks. And that creates more like opportunity for arbing. Plus there's the ecosystem is HEX in the sense that these people are like, that was the #1 token that was donated, right, for both of, I think for both projects, but definitely for PulseX, because I wasn't around for Pulse, right? So you have that piece of it, that these people understand what's going on, where new adoption are not going to understand HEX. And these 2 versions on the Pulse side allow for that parity potential. And I'm literally thinking of this as we're talking about this, because from my understanding, please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, is reaching level 3 HEX. What's up? So if somebody takes $10,000 worth of EHEX and they bring it through on the bridge, I had a question on that too, but I'll ask that in a second. They have their 10,000, they bring that through on the bridge. Now they have wrapped EHEX. Now there's going to be a pair, I would assume, between wrapped EHEX and PHEX. What makes sense there? Well, if you think about what wrapped HEX is, if wrapped HEX falls, so say if you have $10,000 worth of EHEX through the bridge, and now on the PHEX, on the Pulse chain side of things, it is trading for $8,000. Then what does that mean? That means somebody could go through, buy up that for $8,000, driving that price back up there. And so say you bought it for $8,000, you literally take your $8,000 of wrapped EHEX, you bring it back to the bridge, and you come out the other side with EHEX that is worth $10,000, right? So it's an arb opportunity. Sam doesn't need to be, what does it say? Power level, heat. Yes, I'm just high on life. I don't need drugs. So in the one sense, the wrapped hex, the wrapped EHEX on Pulse side could be like the thing that sits parity closest, right? But then there's going to be that switch between wrapped EHEX and PHEX, right? Hopefully you're following some of that, but I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. What are your, you know what I mean? Because that, I think the wrapped is definitely going to sit at a higher level because you can take that and you can arb it out if you want to, right? Yeah. Where the PHEX is not necessarily going to be the case. So what are your thoughts on that?
I have literally not even thought about that. And so that's very interesting. Yeah. Good job. Like mind blown. No, that's awesome.
I think everyone's mind was blown when he started going into that a little bit. Like, I mean, it just depends if, like, technically they count them as 4 separate coins, which I think technically they do.
Right. Well, what do you, if you have wrapped EHEX on Pulse, what do you can't fucking do anything with it. So it's a derivative basically of EHEX. So it has to have some, it's going to hold value because if it was $5,000, I would just go buy $5,000, bring it to the bridge to extract in the other direction to go onto Ethereum. Right? So if I can buy it for $5,000, go to the bridge and get $10,000 the other side, like everybody's going to do that. What does that do? It drives up that price of the wrapped EHEX to close to $10,000 because you got to factor in the transaction costs of Ethereum, right? So say if it's like on average $30, maybe it's slightly lower, but it's going to be, I don't know. This is very interesting.
Yeah.
Has Sam ever read Hart's Law? Sam, do you know what Hart's Law is? It's Richard Hart made up a law of how.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up. This might answer some of your questions too. I'm not sure, guys. Again, when we get about hour 5 in, GRC gets a little bit foggy about what we're talking about anymore, because I'm so used to Sam hammering it out with me every day that it's just like it's almost like I just get lost in train. I watch it all back though and like kind of pay attention more because I have to look at all the chats and everything while I go. That is the one thing about being a host that I didn't anticipate, right? Is like I didn't anticipate it would be so hard to focus.
There's a lot going on.
Oh, I send out links. I'm looking, but now Bullish is helping me. But still, even with him helping me, I'm so used to doing it that I have to just stop and like.
Bullish, can you find that thing that he was just talking about? I'm not sure where that is. Okay, so you would.
I need to drop real quick, but I can be back in like 10 minutes. So
if you want to come back,
I'll be back.
45. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Awesome. See you guys.
Talking a little bit. Yep, talking a little bit. That's fascinating. That the inspect code stuff and all that kind of stuff is just like a foreign. It's like a foreign concept.
Let's reset our brains for a second. Let me reset.
Okay. If I'm gonna read some of these comments. If price is nearly the same and you provide liquidity with EHEX, PHEX, so I'm assuming that's wrapped, right? Because EHEX is not, it's going to have to be wrapped, right? Then you have less chance of impermanent loss if you assume that the prices are going to wrap. But impermanent loss is just opportunity cost, right? Do you want your money now or do you want to like stake it in the future, right? You're still going to have that. So I don't think I have the same point of view on impermanent losses like other people. Like, you do anything in crypto, that's a permanent loss of your opportunity to do other things with your time and your money, period. So everything, so to speak, is an impermanent loss in one way or another. So that'll be interesting. So this is rags to riches. Hart's Law will come true because Hart will make it come true.
Basically, this is like the liquidity that's bonded to the pairs is responsible for the price action, right? Like, so whatever. So basically, he says Hex is bonded to USDC primarily for Hex is primarily backed by USDC, but Bitcoin is primarily backed by Ethereum, or as far as the liquidity. So he was
say that. Sorry, say that again.
he's saying because the liquidity of Bitcoin and Ethereum are bonded to something different than Hex, the price action therefore is not as connected as if it was backed by the same thing. I think I can't remember what the exact verbiage is, but it's a quick little statement. Can someone say the freaking little one-liner like he used to say it all the time? I'm gonna pull it up. How about it's YouTube? Pull it
Cool.
up.
You pull up. Monica, what's
you guys were knowing the chat?
Francesca?
I'm gonna put point in it. Here, I'm pulling it up right now. I got it. It's already playing.
This might be it. Price movements with interchangeable assets are bonded by their liquidity in their pair.
Bitcoin all move up.
Share that when you're done. As crypto prices put together, they have the liquidity pair.
This is Batman.
Bitcoin all move up and down at the same time, which is how I invented Hart's law. So
It's playing double.
the prices of things that trade against each other tend to move with each other because they're bonded by the liquidity in their trading pairs. And so because you can exchange Bitcoin for Ethereum, if Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up. Why? Because you can exchange it whenever you want for the thing that just went up in price. And so when you see Bitcoins going up, it pulls the whole crypto market up with it usually. Why? Because a lot of things have trading pairs against Bitcoin and they move up together. So understanding that there's not some like galaxy brain mastermind kind of thing that says, oh, these are similar products, so they should both go up in value at the same time. Like my old model that my brain thought was like, I don't know why all these things move up and down together. There must be someone that thinks that they should be similar to each other, and therefore there's like some bot somewhere bidding them up at the same time. But it's just not true. That's not the case. Like they move together because they're bonded by the liquidity in their pairs. And so that discovery is something that I think I invented and popularized and like it enough and is important enough discovery to have named it Hart's Law. So I'm very proud of it. Yeah.
So it sounds like just what happens in traditional finance. Like if everything's moving in one direction, it's correlated, right? Like it doesn't. I mean, to me, when he's describing this thing he calls Hart's Law, it's like when one thing goes up, it lifts boats in opposite assets, right? Like, yeah, that tends to be what happens in reality, right?
Yeah, so basically it seems like if the assets are tradable within each other, right? If the assets are tradable within each other, then by definition, people and the bots and all the limit orders and everything will, you know what I mean? By definition, they'll be bonded together because people are trading in between them. If somebody sees Bitcoin going down 20% and Ethereum going up 10%, they're going to switch all their Bitcoin for Ethereum. And then vice versa, right?
But the same thing happens like in the stock market, right?
Yeah, 100%. Literally, Bitcoin and Ethereum are 100% directly correlated to the stock market.
Yeah, but like if you have anything that is tradable, anything,
yeah, no,
that is
100%,
tradable,
100%.
if they all are correlated.
100%.
And that's what he's talking. To me, I'm like, okay, yeah.
Some go up faster than others,
yes.
right? Some go up
Pardon?
faster than others. Some go up faster than others, right? So it's like which
so
asset
you measure correlation on like 0 to 1. You can technically go past 1, right? But which just means that like if Bitcoin went up by $1, then Ethereum goes up by $1. That's a correlation of 1. Right, you could have, a correlation of 2, meaning Bitcoin goes up by 1, Ethereum goes up by 2, right? And then you can like do different things to add leverage so that this kind of thing happens. But
go ahead.
Other
comments I'd love to read out when you're done.
Okay. What happens is like there's some correlation in markets between 0 and 1 for most assets, independent of the asset, right? And when directional happen, like you have these ebb and flows in markets. So when things are going up, everything is going up, right? When things are going down, everything's going down. In general, not 100%, but in general. So that type of stuff has been documented that people use this for trading purposes, legacy finance. It's like the same type of thing, and you would expect the same type of thing to hold true in crypto. If the gargantuan, gorilla in the house, Bitcoin, $900 billion, market cap is increasing, it's going to lift everything else just because they're all correlated to a degree positively, right? So you have positive correlation and negative correlation. The idea that I've seen people put out, which it doesn't appear to be the case at all, is people say that there's a negative correlation between Bitcoin and Hex, which is not true. It's positive correlation. But that seems to be like what people are putting out.
Well, Sam, a lot of people saw Bitcoin go from 65K to 35K, and while simultaneously Hex went from 2 cents. Simultaneously, Hex went from 2 cents to 56 cents, while Bitcoin dropped from 65K to 30K. So there's 100% decorrelated at that time.
So you can look at correlation in several different ways. So you could measure it like on an annual basis, and you can measure it on a daily basis. You can measure it on an hourly, a monthly, a weekly, right? So all these things matter, right? If you look at the price charts of these, when one is going up, on average, they look very similar.
On average, yes, I agree.
Correct. Which would if something looks similar, then that means there's positive correlation.
It's a sticky concept, right? Because it's so hard because Hex is bonded by more than USDC, right? So it's like it's just the majority of Hex is bonded by USDC.
So
real quick, I want to read these comments real quick, just so maybe you can get some insight.
I actually should do a separate video and show people the correlation.
I would love that. The key. This is crypto curricula. Why is your name crypto curricula, not Orca? Because I can't say that right. I call you Orca. The key is
curricula is just more challenging name to say. Orca.
The key is understanding the interchangeability of the assets. A significant price movement in the asset with the most liquidity, BTC, demands a correction in the fair interchangeable ratio. What are you talking about? No, I'm just kidding. Marco the Hexagon. Sam, think about a big holder probably, and everyone is tied to it by a rope. And if you push it off the cliff, they all fall off the cliff with it. But at their own pace, depending on how big the pair is. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, Marco. Thank you. The more liquidity, the more correlation. Guys, awesome stuff. In legacy, the equivalent would be closer to QT measures, quarter measures taken by the Fed, causing BlackRock and Vanguard to withdraw capital from the index. It's not an identical mechanism, just similar. Yeah, because we're not talking about a DEX in that. I think the only major difference when we get into crypto is we're talking about DEXs. Would be the decentralized exchange, and that's going to be what changes. Guys, real quick, I'm going to run this promo video, and then I'm going to have FashionCoder back on. She's in makeup right now, so we are going to run this awesome video. Biceps in the chat, guys. Thank you for everyone who signed up for the fitness challenge. Like, I'm super stoked.
It's gonna be dope.
I don't even know what world I'm living in anymore. It's just like a brand new world to me. Like, fitness challenge, crypto every day. I was working like a slave for fucking 8 years straight. Not saying that everyone does it, but like, wow, my life has changed, guys. Let's run this promo video. Good times all around. Boom, boom.
Jeez Louise. Welcome back.
That is a
Thank
banger.
you. Sorry about that. Little
You're-
cutout for me.
You're good. But before you were leaving, you were talking about how you were farming or staking or something, and you were earning $1,000 a day, or just 1,000%, or I don't know. Can you talk more about that? Because that was interesting. Because I want to do that and pay my mortgage.
Yeah. So I mean, of course, it was all test stuff, right? And so it wasn't something that's going to. I mean, it might happen, right? Who knows?
It's gonna happen, and it's gonna be way more.
I mean, we can hope, right? Like, even just seeing those rewards, I was like, this is like all my test stuff, but this is awesome. And so my family actually has a competition. This is just a side note, a competition to see who can get the highest APR. And so we're all
I gotta
going
meet your family and give them handshakes all around FashionCoder's family.
Her family sounds awesome.
That family in crypto history.
Oh yeah, the crypto fam, honestly.
Dude, I love that.
But yeah, so that's like what our competition's going to be. So if you guys get like a super high APR, like screenshot it, send it to me, because you can be in the competition too.
Let's go, guys.
Oh,
That's some incentive to get on the testnet.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, that's why I film the videos, is to be able to have a resource to be able to practice testnet. So then, you know what you're doing. You know where you can even see where the APR is, like that percentage. And so that's what I am totally recommending is go and practice on testnet. I'm actually going to release a video either today or tomorrow about the things that you should do before testnet, how to prepare for testnet. And that's actually going to be one of the things on the list. So
good job. You're doing so
Sam,
good.
you need to make sure that you practice on testnet.
No, I have a laptop that I did a hard reset on it, and it effed it up so that I am not actually able to load Windows back on it. So I have to just figure out how to get another free copy of Windows to be able to put that on there. And
F's in the chat for Sam's laptop. I told him to do the hard reset, broke the thing. I was like, Sam, got to do the hard reset. He's like, all right, man, I got it. Then it's like, won't turn back on. I was like, sorry. I was like, I got to go to the gym. No.
He stopped picking up my phone calls after that. He's like,
But guys, and this is a really good episode, guys. I'm so excited. Like, it's so good that we're at the bottom of a bear market and everyone in the Hex community is so calm, right? Because we don't care about, on this show, we don't really care about short-term price action at all. Like, I don't look up short-term price action really ever. Never have on this show.
I want to, Hex Squid says install Linux. I have no idea how to do that, but I would be open to doing it.
DM him with any suggestions you guys have about all that S.
And by the way, my Twitter's down below. I do have the intention of answering all the messages on Twitter today. I know that it's a big opportunity for me to respond to messages faster. I understand that. It's definitely something I'm working on. But this question is for FashionCoder. On the testnet. So let me pull this up here. And we're on the testnet here. Whoops. Can you pull it up for me again? Okay. So we're here. I come over here to farms, right? And I see 5 options, but I'm like, hey, I don't want to do these ones. What other how do I find other pairs than just 5 of these, right?
Yeah, so I think what the hope is, or what will possibly happen, this is a guess. So I think there's going to be a lot more pairs. So you can go in and you can search it. And so I think these ones are just the test ones right now, so there's not an overwhelming amount, because then it would make it kind of difficult, right? If you were overwhelmed with all these different ones. But the goal is just so you can be able to get down the functionality. So I think like I said, this is a guess. When mainnet comes out, I think there's going to be a lot more pairs. And so you'll be able to go in, you'll be able to search, and you'll be able to find those pairs. But here in testnet, it's not going to be.
Have you seen what poked around on PancakeSwap and Uniswap? And I was like, okay, looking for pairs and liquidity provided on there. And when I was over there, I could create a pair to start a pool, right? That's only valuable enough when you consider that there's two people that want to fucking use that pair, right? There's somebody that holds X coin and Y coin, and they want to do that direct swap instead of going to this coin to backdoor it in. So have you seen that feature in here? Because Richard Hardis actually talked about, you said you can set like the ratio and that kind of thing. Like I found one pair that was not listed. I was just testing it out on Uniswap, and there was two different tokens. I have no idea what they were. In all honesty, I was just like, okay, let's click this random fucker. Let's click this one. And I paired them up, and I was like, okay, nobody else has a pool in this. I could create a pool of these two tokens and just test it out. Have you seen anything like that in the test time?
Honestly, I don't think I have. But, I mean, I could have just missed it too. So, yeah, I'm not 100% positive on that one. But I haven't personally seen it. But maybe I'm missing something.
So when you provide liquidity, you create the pair yourself and then go into farms and stake. Oh, so what, T-Bird, thanks for the comment. So you provide liquidity in, Pulse X or PLS, right? And then by providing liquidity there, you earn the incentive token, and then you take the incentive token to the farm to earn additional yield?
So let's see. So right there, see where it says the INC earned. Once you once you put in that Pulse X Pulse liquidity pair, then you are going to be
what is INC? Do you know?
It's the incentive token. And so
okay.
These are also all, they're probably test tokens. So we're going to actually see probably things that are different names. It's just the incentive token, which I feel like is a great name. It's a great test name because it's incentive. And so it's the incentive token you're getting back, right? Like take that in a literal sense. But it will probably be called something else. It'll probably, it might be something completely different. But it is a really good test token right now to look at and be like, oh, I'm getting the incentive token. And then right here, it's the incentive token paired with Pulse. So that's awesome because you then take your incentive token that you made and then you can make a liquidity pair off of that. So it's kind of like a chain effect.
Is the incentive token similar to coat check, where because on some swaps, from my understanding, is I put in $1,000 of this, $1,000 of that, right? And I create that pair or add to that pool, and then I get a incentive token or a coat check that says your number is 345, and you take that 345 to redeem your tokens. But the incentive token here sounds like it's different. Do you know if that's accurate?
I have actually never heard of that before. I think it is different though. I think it's an actual coin. It's going to be an actual coin that you get.
Because otherwise, why would you want to put it into a pair which gives access to your other shit, right?
Yeah, so there's no reason, right? That there has to be incentive to it. Right?
Correct. Yes.
There has to be something that you get in return that is worth it for you to provide your liquidity pair to stake, right? So, I'm not 100% positive on that if it is the same thing, but I think it's
or is it like cake on PancakeSwap where you earn cake through various mechanisms, from my understanding, and then once you have the cake token, then you can. I think over there you're just staking it, but here I think they're calling it farming. It sounds like. Yeah.
So TikTok said it's a reward token, which I feel like is probably the best way to describe that. And so if that's how cake is, then yes. But I do not know much about other swaps. This is really me diving deep into Pulse Chain. I haven't really dove deep into any other ones that exist.
Okay, and this is fascinating because I haven't been in there at all or tested anything, and I'm super stoked for when this comes out. I would love to be able to just earn enough to actually pay the mortgage through farming kind of thing, or provide LP, right?
Yeah.
Do you
then we're
use...
going to figure out how to set up bots so we can do it without touching our computers. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's the real goal. The real goal is that I can do this from my computer without leaving my bed.
Are you going to continue to, or do you see yourself transitioning away from the current job you're in and focusing more on the online stuff? You're currently doing online stuff. It's just for a company, but
Yeah.
do you find it interesting or like more fun to do this stuff online?
So I actually love my job. Like I love it. It's so fun, and I'm really passionate about the product that I have. And so at the moment, I definitely am planning on staying at my company. But it's been fun doing this too, just because I've always loved content creation, whether it was videos or just like honestly anything. So I don't know. I really don't know like what the future holds for that, because like I have spent a lot of time in school. Like I got my master's degree to be in the job that I'm in right now. And so yeah, that's what I'm planning on sticking with at the moment, just because I've only been in this career for 4 months.
Oh, so you just finished school.
That's so
Yeah.
interesting. What an interesting time to be in your life, where it's like you have a lot of different things that you love doing and only so much time in the day, right? So it's at some point it's just a time thing. It's always just a time thing, right, Sam? Like me and Sam would love to do everything on this earth, probably, but there's only time to do about 2 or 3 things. And so I'm going to put every hour of my day into those 2 or 3 things, right? For me, it's like I never have been educated by the school system whatsoever. Like I have been, as far as education in the school system, I have 0. I was a reject kid, and I was a drug addicted, like troublemaker kid. So I did not participate in school. So I learned everything that I learned just from YouTube. And it's actually what made me stand out, is because I never thought of things normally. I was like, I don't know any of that shit that you guys are talking about. I just know that like crypto goes up in price all the time, and you guys just, everything you talk about doesn't. And why is no one talking about this shit? And why is my parents? So I've been all passion based ever since I met Sam. I've pretty much been 100% passion based. Like whatever I'm super into at the time, that's all I can think about, because those are the only things I could think about. Because I had a job for a long time, and it was a great job, and I kind of loved it. Like as far as jobs are concerned, it was pretty dope. Mm-hmm. But I just quit. I was like, fuck this. I was like, this is stupid. I didn't care if I had money, this, that, or the other. I was just like, but I also don't have kids. I am single. I have plenty of time. So it's like I just was in the position where this was my only option. Well, not my only option, but like the one I wanted to do. I didn't have any other thing I wanted to do.
That comment there from T-Bird is, I think, very helpful in terms of the clarification of some of the things we we're just talking about. Thank you, T-Bird. First, provide liquidity. So step 1. Step 2, or the second part, the 2 tokens you pair get converted into LP token. That, I think, is what T-Bird is talking about, a coat check, right? That the LP token is what you use to redeem your shit, right? So if you're putting 5,000, right, Pulse Hacks or whatever as that pair, you use the LP token to redeem your shit out of the pool, I think. Then go to farms and stake the LP token. Staking LP tokens earns you INC, which is the incentive token, and fees. So it sounds like there's going to be 2, right? Is that how do you interpret that, Fashion?
Yeah, totally. The key word is and. So yeah, the incentive token and fees. So that's cool. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with farms. I am actually going to make a strategy video of what I'm going to do, and I don't think I'm going to farm, to be honest with you. Because
so give us a sneak preview. So if you guys want to catch her video, we're going to drop it here first. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is what I'll do. I don't think I'm going to do farms, as I'm not going to provide liquidity with my PulseX and my other coins, just because I don't know if it's the smartest move for me with my position in everything. I think that people could potentially get burned, I think, on farms if you don't know what you're doing. So that's peak.
Why do you say that somebody could potentially get burned? What would burn them?
Well, when you provide a liquidity pair, one of them has to go down for the other one to go up, right? Because if you're selling one thing, you're buying the other. And so I just see that there's potential risk with doing that. And like I said, it's just my position. Like I'm not sure if that's what is best for me within that space. And so I think I might focus more on the pools side of things, because all you're doing is a one-side stake with pools. You take your pulse X and then you stake it with whatever you end up whatever rewards they have there. So that's a sneak peek on that. I need to, flesh out a couple more things before I present a video on it and maybe give more reasoning why. But
well, impermanent loss is like the topic of discussion, right? Like that's the word that everyone wants to learn about. And the thing about impermanent loss that's interesting is a lot of people just hear the word, and then Sam always gets on people for this. Like people hear impermanent loss, somebody tells them one side goes up, one side goes down, and then they make a decision based on that, right? And Sam's like, hold on 1 second. Let's dig into that a little bit. You only lose an impermanent loss if you sell at some time. If you lock in your losses, most people that provide liquidity don't need money. One, so there's strategies, and this is kind of what FashionCoder is alluding to too. Like a strategy for someone with a ginormous bag is going to be strategy different than someone who just got out of college, who's kind of like figuring this stuff out a couple years into crypto. If you dropped 100K into Hex 2 years ago, you're in a different position as far as providing liquidity, rather than someone who's just been dollar cost averaging in and just like getting used to it. I think it's important to learn, right? I think it's very important to learn. I think I'm going to be doing it just to learn, so I can pull up videos and I'll be good at this by then, hopefully. So I'll but I need, as a content creator, I want to be able to like move through everything, but it's just with a small amount of my money. As far as the reason I think people don't want to do it generally is because it's just a lot more to look at. It's a lot more to look at and a lot more to click on. And I think it's just annoying to people when like there's an opportunity similar-ish. When like Sam's like, man, we could get like another 20% here, 30% here, 40% here, where some people
under
are
100,
right, whatever it is, right? And then some people are like, like it's fine, like I'll just get my Bitcoin and it'll go up, or I'll just have my pulse and it'll go up, So it's a strategy.
Have you considered FashionCoder that they could actually both go up, right? Because that's also a possibility.
Yeah, totally. And so that's the thing. It's looking at the market. So I think there has been one downside to testnet. And honestly, it might not even be a downside. But the one downside is that, we are going into this and we're practicing, and there's only a specific amount of people are going in and actually doing this every day. And you see these percentages and, they're fake. Like it's real within the algorithm of what they're doing, but they're not real life in the sense of what could happen and what is going to happen. And so I think it's like going into mainnet, I personally am going to have to really like separate myself from testnet of like, this is the same functionality, but like the APRs are going to be different. The pairs are going to be different. The, pools are going to be different. Everything's different. I just know how it systematically works. So I think that's the one downside, is that we are seeing all these numbers and seeing how things are doing in testnet, but it's not real life. And so going into mainnet, you kind of have to like wipe your brain, like erase your memory.
Is it like too good to be true in your mind at this point? Is that how you're kind of like perceiving it? Because you're like, fuck, 300%. This is stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And who knows? Like it could do that, and if it does, that's
great. It does.
It could do more.
Yeah,
it does.
Exactly.
There's guys out there that know exactly what it's gonna do too, and like they're not obviously not gonna say it. Like,
I'm gonna share
green room talk with some of those guys that are big bag holders is very different than stream talk.
FashionCoder, I just shared a link in the private backroom thing, and I'll share it over here on the other site. This is a aggregator, and I'll actually pull it up in a second, but this is a aggregator for like staking in terms of, or earning yield in all sorts of ways, right? So you can come over here and you come down and be like, and these are projects that are already out, right? So, because I think that I was like the same thing. I was like, this is stupid. Like you 400%, 600%. This is absolutely insane. So if you go, so this is bullish. Go to bullish. Go to the APY and put greater than 40%.
Okay.
Bullish. Can you do that?
300% plus was normal like crazy. It was the
Yep.
biggest yield farming platform on
Look,
Smart Chain.
okay, look at this. So these are projects that are already live. Scroll down a little bit, bullish. There you go. Look at where's the APY? Okay, stop right there. 82.8%, 55%, 47%, 76%, 54%. Like, look at these. These are what are actually happening now, right? Because I had the same idea. I was like, there's no fucking way. Like, these are 400%. And then you see these things are in reality, and there's other projects where it's like 1,000% or 600% or 800%. It may not last for the long time, but in this site you can put APY greater than, look at this, 1,000+% for those that pair right there. And I'm not saying anybody should do any of the things on here. It's just another source of information for people to look into this stuff. But you can also, my thought process when I look at this site is looking at the greater than 40%, but also what is the TLV, right? Like, what is the total value locked? Because click on that TLV, could put it greater than 100 million. Down to the very bottom. Because I'm like, if people are putting in like $100 million plus dollars, like versus a pool that's got $100,000, like there's just more economic energy in that area, and that's something that I would feel more comfortable with. And these numbers are still stupid.
Yeah.
Right. There's that look on the right where his cursor is 116 million, 200 million right below that, 263 million below that. Right. These are big pools. These are large pools. This one has $385 million earning 55%. Like, these numbers are stupid. People like Blackstone, people like JP Morgan, PE firms, hedge funds are searching for yield, and they don't realize it's just right in front of their face. It's just called crypto. Instead of buying single family homes and trying to leverage up so that they can get a yield, or purchasing businesses to extract yield out of these businesses like a PE firm might, private equity firm might, or hedge funds in terms of their trading strategy and using leverage to extract value. It's all in crypto right in front of them, and they don't even realize this. This is insane.
Yeah,
but clearly, I'm excited about this.
Yeah, like, so there are so many ways to make money, and no one has any idea, Marco. That is the truth. Real quick, we got Bob Lagai. How you doing, Bob? Did FashionCoder already give her thoughts on Maximus? It just hit 160 million so far, and Funding Jim asked them to repeat it quarterly. That means 150 million. You know, Sam, in FashionCoder, I think 150 million hex is the 9th largest stake. And if they repeated that quarterly, imagine if they repeated that quarterly and there was 150 million plus hex stakes for off the market for 15 years.
So that's going to drive down the interest rate.
Yes, of course.
For anybody new. But here's a question. Do you think, if they did do that quarterly, do you think that there's any chance that there's going to be another 150 million? I would think that there's probably going to be less than 150 million in the next one.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would agree.
It would always be diminishing an amount. Roughly. I mean, someone could come in and just drop a bomb at any moment. But like, yeah, in general, 150 million hex in 4 months will be way, 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 way more rare and expensive than if you just look at the staking and how many people are staking.
But this could be the new thing if it does happen.
This is the new thing, Sam. I think everyone should start thinking about this as the new thing, because this is going to be happening everywhere. Why not? All you're doing is pulling, and if there's a trusted source, all you're doing is giving people more benefit for their long-term staking. I don't want anyone to get freaked out by the go.hex.com and how, you're not staking directly through there with your stuff. But trust me, there's also negatives to having all your own shit. And
what do you mean?
So like, there's a lot of people that got saved by having all their shit in Coinbase, believe it or not, too, which people never mention, Sam.
I'm sorry. Say that. I was reading comments. I didn't know.
No one ever mentions how there's so many people that didn't know about crypto and they kept their stuff on Coinbase, and they actually got saved because they didn't know enough about crypto, and they would have lost their shit if they had it on a decentralized wallet. So really, Coinbase has been a help to some people. Because when those people that bought a bunch of Bitcoin, then they go back to Coinbase like 3 years later and they're like, oh, all my shit's here. Wow, it's so much more money now. rather than being like, I don't know my seed phrases. Where the fuck is that computer? You know what I mean? So obviously Coinbase, it's not actually your crypto, but so let's get off that topic. I don't keep any of my shit in Coinbase. That would be silly.
It's gonna be interesting with like projects like that coming out, projects like Hedron coming out, and we're at like the point where everybody's like lining up on the edge of the cliff just to dive in to like this ocean of like possibility, and it is like I've got goosebumps because I'm like super stoked. This is going to be what drives so much change over the next decade in the finance world. I used to follow Tesla. They're changing what's happening in the physical world with what they're doing and with their vehicles, with energy, two of like gigantic, if you look at the industry, two gigantic industries, and they're just fucking eating their lunch. It's like you just grabbing other people's lunch. This is what's happening with money, and most of the world is clueless. That's tremendous opportunity for us.
All of the world, if you really put it on a pie chart, all of the world is clueless.
Yes.
That's true. That's actually very true.
FashionCoder. I know we interrupted you a lot, but I actually have to run. I wanted to say thank you for sharing your insights about this stuff and all this stuff in the testnet and the inspect element thing you were showing us, and like sharing your YouTube stuff and being a part of the community, because having more genuine people who are interested in like helping other people and sharing like their unique voice, because I see so many people who are like, I don't know enough, or it doesn't matter. You have your own unique voice in it. So I acknowledge you for, sharing your voice online and helping more people, because that's going to inspire more people to do the same exact thing. If you ever want to come onto my show too, let me know. Happy to. GRC, anything you want to touch on before I jump out? Anybody who wants to follow along, this 90-day challenge we're doing in fitness is what's going to actually allow me to surpass GRC on Twitter followers. So there's a link down below for my Twitter. Just skip over GRC's and scroll down to mine. Click over to Twitter, press the follow button and say what's good. You don't need to follow him over there. And FashionCoder is probably going to be down there as well. I would assume we'll probably have.
We'll be down there by the end of it, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, thank you so much. If I can ever help with anything or whatever, answer questions around anything, I'm happy to. Feel free to reach out.
Awesome. So nice to meet you, Sam. And this has been so fun.
Yes. Hey, peace out. Peace out, Jesse.
I'm just going to give final thoughts to Sam. Great to see you as always, brother. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's talk. Hold on, I gotta change the background. What up? How have you enjoyed your time?
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me here. It's been great, and the chat's been awesome. And yeah, I feel like we've had a good conversation. So yeah, thanks.
Awesome. I just want to be productive, Like I spent a lot of my life being non-productive, and it just led to I did a lot of fun life stuff, I guess, and had a lot of cool experiences that probably most people wouldn't. But intellectually, I was never taught like to push it intellectually. It was always just like, you have to work, right? It's like, you have to work. It was never like, push your mind, see what it can do. It was like, nope, you just have to work all the time. Like, it doesn't matter as long as that's how I grew up. So now I'm like, stretching my mind out and like really learning, like there's no difference between Richard Hart and me or anyone. It doesn't matter who you are. You could learn stuff. It depends how long you stare at the damn shit. Like how long Richard Hart's been staring at Bitcoin stuff since it started. That is why he's the smartest. It's not because he's just, I'm not saying he's not an intelligent dude. Obviously he is, but like in general, like guys, if you want to learn how to code, like there's nothing difference between FashionCoder and someone a girl in the comments. Like she's not a robot. Like she's just somebody who was like, this is cool. My dad did this too, and I want to learn it. You could have learned anything, right? I mean, how many different ways could you have gone?
Oh, I didn't even have to go to school if I didn't want to for being a software developer, right? And so it's like, even within what I did, like it could have been so different.
Yeah, it definitely could. Do you want to tell everyone where they can find you? And I'll drop one more thing in the chat.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, tell everyone about yourself. There could be some new people in here. This is FashionCoder. She's a new streamer. She's awesome. She's very nice. It's very nice to look at. I mean, I know guys say this all the time, but it's so nice to look at a girl rather than a bunch of grungy dudes. Like, you know what I mean? And because I mean, the energy in crypto has been so masculine over the masculine, like it's like the Wild West, right? To have like girls like you, crypto stylist, you know, all that. I love that one show. I didn't that you were on. I watched it for a little bit. I could only tune in for a minute. Like all the girls on there, that was an amazing show. Like to see all those girls in space, I was like, this is like groundbreaking shit almost. It was really cool.
It was so fun. It was so nice to like meet other women in the space too. And it's interesting, like being in tech and then coming to the crypto space. It's like, oh, I'm already on a team of all men, and now I'm in a community that's basically all men. And so it's like there's no difference. But it's fun, like hopefully being able to bring more women into this space because like we need women in this space.
Please God, we need women in this space. GRC can only do it so long with all these dudes. It's like they're all hard-headed, their all egos are so big, and it's just like, oh my God, guys, can we please work together for 5 seconds? But that's what I'm going to real quick. Okay. Yeah, it's been really fun. I you know, pleasant surprise. You know, one thing about streaming is a lot of people, it's hard to be animated while you're talking, right? Like, and that's kind of part of streaming, and a lot of people don't know that. So when they come on a stream, they're like not used to being a little bit animated and like ready to like present themselves to a group. So someone else who's already streamed is always so nice to stream with them. We don't need women. We have Jim Rat Crypto.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thanks, Briz. Thanks, Briz. I'll do enough shirtless pics for all the dudes with my meals. As I started realizing, I was like, I do a lot of shirtless pics, and pretty much 99% of guys just check it out. So I was thinking about that. But I'm going to do a shout. It was great to meet you. I'd love to talk more. You got the best family in crypto, and you're wonderful. You're lovely. You're beautiful. Thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. This has seriously been so much fun. And I want to like pick your brain about a couple of things. So we'll have to meet up again.
Yeah, please. Anytime you want, just DM me. I'm going to be talking about my sponsors for like the next 5 or 10 minutes. So I'm just going to let you go. But it was so nice to meet you. Like very pleasant. This has been awesome. And I hope we can talk really soon.
Awesome. Sounds good. Bye, Jim Rat. And bye, everyone.
Guys, real quick, the Bradley Cooper of Hexaco. I've been called the Jake Gyllenhaal of Hexaco lately. Everyone, dude, I swear to God, I'm just saying this because it actually is occurring. Everyone, now that my hair's long, because I'm not cutting it till Pulse Chain. When Pulse Chain comes out, I'm cutting my fucking hair, guys. I'm going to look like Tom Cruise Top Gun at that point. But, yeah, I'm going to play this video one more time, guys. I'm going to shout out my sponsors real quick for the fitness challenge. And this is going to be, I got a little busy work to do. We got to shout my sponsors out, everyone that's supported. That's my job. I want to spread awareness to the people that deserve having awareness spread to their name, including all the guys. But I'm going to play this one real quick so I can pull everything up. Guys, biceps in the chat. Bradley Cooper. Let's do real quick. Bradley Cooper or Jake Gyllenhaal? 1 in the chat for Bradley Cooper, 2 in the chat for Jake Gyllenhaal. Which one do I look more like? Let me know. Guys, check out this cool ass promo video. Bullish, thank you so much. Whoops. My bad. Pressed the wrong button. How you doing,
What's
brother?
up? How's it going?
Hey guys. Hey, is this is your second time coming on the show, I think, right?
Yep, it is. I'm gonna pop in every once in a while, specific to the crypto fitness challenge, just to give some support, lending hand.
So this is Bullish Ox, guys. Follow him on Twitter. He's a Hexican, amazing dude, knows a lot about social media, knows a lot about it, everything, Raspberry Pis, crazy stuff. If you haven't been on the show while he's on here, give him a follow, talk to him. What do you want to talk? What should we go into first here, Bullish?
So the first thing I want to do is just give a special shout out to all our supporting sponsors: Shield Masters, Triggered, Motley Investor, JPEG Junkies, Hexmerch.com, and Marco the Hexican for their contributions to the Crypto Fitness Challenge.
Yes. So yesterday while we were streaming, guys, Motley came in and was pumped up about the challenge, commenting. Literally the comments were going crazy. Everyone was just having a good time. And then Motley said he would donate 90,000 hex, roughly $10,000 USD. And then Marco said, I'll do 10,000 hex. So guys, the prizes are getting pretty insane. I'm working on, Bullish, whoever gets the win. So Shield Masters, there's still a couple things I want to iron out with Shield Masters. I think the first place should be a custom shield of any sort.
Well, yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a total of 3 custom shields for the 3 different competitions we have going on. So just as a reminder, we have a winner that's going to be selected by Jim Rat and Sam. Doesn't matter if it's weight gain or weight loss. It's basically who was engaged and who made the most transformational change. We will have another winner based on leaderboards, and we will have another winner based on community vote. And each of those winners will receive a custom shield from Shield Master.
Yep, and that means your personal logo. If you have a personal logo like Marco the Hexican right there, his little logo, Motley Investors logo, Hodl Dog, all those guys, they have their little personal logos. If you'd like that, Gerardo from Mintra ordered a couple custom shields just for the Mintra. They look amazing.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to order a custom shield before the competition starts, just go to shieldmasters.com, use promo code GRC50, and you get $50 off.
Yep, use the promo code. Guys, they're very expensive. If you do not have your positions acquired in crypto, it is not where you should be focusing your time, in my opinion. But for a lot of you guys that are rich and don't give a rat's shit, which is a lot of you, it's the perfect thing to change up a streaming room, make something pop, have a personal logo. It's cool. You know what I mean? It's a great decorative piece. I clearly enjoy them since I have about 11 in my house.
And another point I want to stress, especially for this sign-up period, remember, May 1st, the challenge begins. You need to sign up because once May 1st hits, sign-ups are closed. The prize pool continues to grow as more supporting sponsors come on. So we have no idea how big this can get, but sign up, tell a friend to tell a friend, bring your family along, regardless if you win or not. Let's get fit. Let's survive for these 555 stakes. Let's do it together. Let's bring people from other communities. LFG.
Yeah, because in all reality, guys, we all have a lot going on for us. And if you die, it's not going to be super cool. So, and people die. They all do. Some faster than others. The ones that work out and worry about their fitness, they don't die as fast. It's just plain and simple. You guys know that's the truth. The guys that sit there, don't do anything, talk, eat junk food, not good dating life. This is all mental health stuff, guys. You have to take care of your mental health as you move forward. And because we're all going to be blessed up from the chest up, and you're going to have to handle that with grace and dignity rather than being greedy and selfish and doing whatever you want. You want to have good relationships, move forward in a positive way. Money should only be an aggregator of, it should only be a positive to all that, right? It should never be a negative. And for some people, money is the root of all evil. obviously. So, guys, if you're following this channel every day, keep your shit straight, and we're gonna get rich together, and it's gonna be great.
And just answer some quick questions in the chat. As far as how winners are being determined, there's 3 different competitions. One is based on the leaderboard, one is based on a community vote, and one is based on GRC and SAM. There's a 4th one, a what I like to call a unofficial competition between the supporting sponsors. It will be going on as well. That has absolutely nothing to do with any of the prize pool.
Where do I send my Addy when I win?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that all private. We're working behind the scenes. Actually, since we're on stream, the hell with it. Staker app, if you're listening, we would like to get your support. Possibly donate a Gnosis safe wallet via the Staker app that we can transfer over to the winners. So if you're listening, we would definitely appreciate that. Again, just as a reminder, we are not getting paid for any of this. We're not getting compensated for any of this. We just want to add value. This is our thanks back to the community. We're learning together. We're growing together. We're going to get rich together. So,
how many are registered right now, Bullish?
So, I know we have over 100. We have over
107 earlier.
So give me a second. I'll double check.
That was way earlier, though. Yeah, this is dope. Bullish had high hopes. I was like, I don't know, this shit works. Bullish was like, I do. I was like, all right. He's like, you guys do the fitness. And I was like, you're the freaking man. RH waiting for prize payout to launch Pulse Chain. That's hilarious. Functional crypto.
So since at the current moment we have over 110 signed up. So let's spread this out. Let's get this out there. I've since you mentioned it, I think we can get to 1,000 people.
That's awesome. Bullish. Okay, guys, when I set this up in the beginning, didn't even set it up, I just tweeted it. I thought maybe I could get 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 people. That would be amazing. And Bullish just stepped in and he said, hold my beer or whatever. Drop the mic, the whole thing. He got 110 in the first 24 hours, guys. 110 signups in the first 24 hours. Free of charge. This is the biggest fitness thing that's ever happened in crypto. So when you want to be a part of it, it's the first ever. Could be the best ever.
Yeah, this thing has like wheels of its own. It's truly transformational. It kind of forced us to like step our game up even more than we already had anticipated for this fitness challenge. So trust me, we will not disappoint. So share this out, get people to sign up. Any supporting sponsors who are listening, reach out. There's many different ways that you can support. We have people from everyone who's participating. Shout outs to JPEG Junkies to creating a 3-tier achievement NFT. There's going to be exclusive design that we'll announce once the challenge starts. And everyone else who's supporting. So if anyone wants to support, please reach out. We're open to it.
Thank you so much, Bullish, for all you do. It's been absolutely incredible working with you. Never thought I could have such a good experience working with someone. I'm a stubborn bastard. But I'm getting there. Guys, I'm going to rip the weights. Yeah, it's chest day, and I'm going to go nuclear. Absolutely nuclear. I might even have to record my bench today. I'm going to freaking slap bench. I'm just no spotter, no nothing, slapping weight up and down, throwing bars, screaming like an animal. I will piss everyone off in that joint, and I will make sure everyone knows GRC is making major gains. Major. There are major gains going on in there. I love going into the gym and bothering everyone with my existence just by being so absolutely dedicated to the gains. I am jacked up about fitness again, guys. It took me a minute, right? Like I wasn't jacked up about fitness for a minute, and I was still working out all the time, but Motley, Sam, everyone just jacking me up, competition. I love it. Yes, dude, Marco, I would love to. I can't wait to meet you in person, bro. That's going to be a handshake and a hug for the ages. Hopefully recorded. Bullish, thank you for all you do, Mark. Yes, Bullish, thank you for all you do. Guys, we're really going to try to change whatever I can change in this community, like while I'm doing this for a living or whatever, just like I'm going to try. I'm just going to try everything. Like I didn't know how to do this shit. Bullish helped me. I don't know how to do a lot of shit. We're going to figure out as we go, but we're going to put in max effort. Well, Bullish knows how to do plenty of stuff, but I'm going to put in, my job is to be available and to put in max effort. I'm just like, at this point, this is what I'm good at, right? I can speak with anyone. I could talk. I like to talk to people. I'm very extroverted. So this is normal to me to be on here. Like I didn't have any problem streaming as far as like the nervousness. But anyway, now we're going off on tangents, guys. It's great. Everyone, thank you so much. This has been the greatest experience of my entire life. And and it's fun to say that when there's no money involved, really. I mean, other than the hex shit going up all the time, it's like, I was making so much more money and I was just so much more not pumped about life. And now it's just like, this is truly powerful to me. This is truly meaningful to me. Crypto, hex, RH products, decentralization, immutability, geopolitics, the cancer that is the government, and customer service in this country going to zero. It's just like everything in this country is going to zero except crypto is going to the moon. So guys, if you're not involved, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to be watching me every single day, and then you will be prepared to be absolutely skilled in navigating the crypto DeFi market as I learn in real time and publish it every single day. On this channel, we're not going to sell you anything. We're just going to flex on them straight up. Flex on everyone on the way to the top, baby. Guys, it's great to see everyone. I'm going to smash the weights. I love you guys so much. This is amazing. Let's watch this little clip real quick just to let everyone know it's Gucci.
Asking if this was me. No, it's not me. And then I saw another guy asking about an influencer. Like I retweeted this Jim Crypto that's having a Hexagon Fitness Challenge. There's guys impersonating him. So